Hello everyone, welcome back to our sessions on SQL tutorials, and we are learning in these sessions we are learning about SQL programming. In the last session I have discussed about how to create a database, how to create a table and all. So in the last session, if you remember, we created a table called employee table, and this way like we can see it here. Okay, so this table is there. Now let's say, and we will just run this. Okay, select star from employee. Okay, so this way when I run this code, what will happen, like we'll get this code table as this thing. Okay, so which is empty. So now what is happening, like we have to put up this detail, we have to get insert the values. Today what we're going to learn, we're going to learn how to insert data into a table. Inserting data into table is one of the most important thing, without which like our data will not be filled in, you know that. And how we will read the data, how we will update the data, how we will work with the data if the data is not available in the table. So that thing we are going to see, that how to insert the table, how to insert data into the table. Now when you run any of the code, like as I have told you earlier or not, if you are not selecting the right database, let's say if this model one is selected, now if I run this code here you see it will give me error. I can select this thing here, okay, the database which you want to work on, or you can say here directly, say use. Okay, you can call it as use, and you call it this thing here, or let's say I can say use, and what is the database we have? SQL training. So use SQL training. If you run this thing now, it will work. So this is how it is there. Or you can whatever you do here, it should work on that whole data set, then you can use it this way. You can define it properly if you want to use that. So if you have any database and if you want to use a particular one, or you can select it here, it's your choice. If I select here, I don't have to use this thing again and again. Okay, that is just for information purpose. So select star from employee is giving us empty table. It does not have anything. So what we have to do, we have to learn about how to insert the data into the table. So for that, what we use insert command. Okay, so insert into table. Which table? Employee table. Okay, insert into employee, which, and we have employee. Now insert into employee. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to see that how the data will be there, what all column values are there, everything. So insert into columns, I'll say like this. Then I will define what all columns are there. EMP ID is there. Okay, EMP ID is there. Then F name is there. F name is there. Then L name is there. Last name is there. Okay, last name is there. F name, L name. L name is there. Then what I have, salary is there. Okay, then city is there. Then state is there. State column is there. So state, I have not given state, I have given province. Province is there, and then country is there. So like this, I have these columns. Then what I have to define, I have to provide the values for these columns. So I'll say values. Okay, then I'll say okay, I want to say first column is employee ID. I will say 101. Next column is first name. I'll say Rohan. Okay, so this way I have given a name for the column. I'll give another column value. Okay, last name is done. So we got three columns: employee ID, first name, and last name. Salary you can give again, let's say 10,000. City, say Delhi. Province, state Delhi. Okay, I'll say DL for that short purpose. I'll say DL, and country also I'll say India, like this. I have given this value. So this is how you insert the data into the table. So insert into table, name whatever table you have, then define the columns, how you want to tell the data to the programming, that how this is how your data should be loaded. So in this case, why you have used this employee ID and defined the column, so that your whatever data you load, it should load in proper format, proper order. So employee ID should 101 should go into employee ID. Rohan should go in F name, first name. Sharma should go in L name, last name. 10,000 should go in salary. Delhi should go in city, and province should go in DL should go in province, and India should go in country. So this way, now what is happening, like your data will be loaded. Now if I select this row, if this code, and if I execute or F5, that's up to you that how you want to utilize this. One row affected. It means one row is added. Now if I say select star from employee, and if I run this thing again, I will get one row. Here you see this. So here this way, like what happened, like you are getting data, but it is not compulsory that you have to put this way whole thing again and again. This thing is not compulsory that you have to do it again and again. This thing, if you are able to write the order properly, if you are able to see the proper order, write the data in the proper order, then you do not need this thing. Data will automatically go into that. So let's check out this. I will copy this. Okay, I'll copy this and I will paste it here. I do not need this thing here at all. I can directly say, okay, insert into column, directly say values. That's all. Okay, insert into employee, directly say values. Here I'll change the employee ID to, okay, I'll say it, let's say Sohan, and I'll say it as 20,000. I'll say it as Chennai, and I'll say, okay, I'll say, okay, TN, and I'll say India as a country. So I can directly run this, okay, and I can execute this. One row, commands completed successfully. Now if I say see the data, if you see here, I'll get two rows. Oh, instead of employee, star from employee, why data is not coming, select star from this. Okay, so here you see that I have just updated this thing here, and it is getting updated as 102. So 102. Now if I run this thing again, now what will happen? One row affected. Now if I see the data, okay, if you will see that 102 is coming again. The reason being is here because we have not defined table employee ID as a primary key, okay, or it should be a unique key. So we have not defined this thing. Okay, so if we want to define this thing, and if we want our data to be perfectly without any duplicates of on employee ID, then we have to do this thing separately. We can modify the table. So that thing I will do it later. I'll show you that how to modify this, but for now I can keep on updating this data as far as like I want to do that. So this way, now what I can do, okay, I can just keep on updating my data. Okay, okay, and I can say this thing here, okay, and so this way I can keep on updating. So now I am inserting another record, and I'll say execute. One row affected, so it is done. Now if I say select star from table just to see the data, and here I will get this. So I got one more records, but here you see that I'm getting 5 records. So this way, now you want to do it one, instead of doing it one by one, you can do it, okay, you can copy these things, okay, multiple times. Okay, you can copy this thing multiple times and change the values whatever you want, and then update that. So let's say it will be 4, it should be 5. Okay, so we have 101, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll call it as 6, I'll call it 7, I'll call it 8, I'll call it as 9, and this will be 110. Okay, so this way, now let's say I can call it different, let's say, okay, I'll call it Hang, I'll call Rob, okay, I'll call it as John, Steve. Okay, so let's say I'm randomly giving some names here so that you can see that. Okay, so it will be anything. Okay, I'll call it as Keith, and this will be, here it will be AP India. So this way, like I'm putting a lot of random information just for the feeding it purpose. So I have given all that information. Now let's say I'll just change it to, it will be 40,000, it is 56, it is 76, So randomly I'm putting anything, so that like you can understand that how the data is fed into the databases. Okay, so okay, like this I got this. So now let's say I have all this information. Now what I'll do, it's the same thing, name is same, so I'm putting up this information here, so randomly. Okay, now I can directly copy this thing and just select this and say execute. All the data will be fed into this. You just run your query again, select star from employee, and you will see this thing. So now if you see that we have inserted the data into the table and so on. Now what will happen, a lot of data can be fed into this way. So insert command is used a lot in this. Okay, so you have to make sure you keep on doing this thing, insert command. You can do it this way where you can define the columns one by one, or you can do it directly like this way. So it's up to you that how best you can utilize this functionality. So insert in is a command, is a function which helps you to, okay, insert the records in the table. Okay, now insert delete. Now delete will, let's say I want to delete the record or update the record, this thing. So here y is uppercase. I want to fix this. So what I will use? I will use update. Okay, update table. Okay, where row ID or like employee ID is equal to 104, and I'll change city to this, whatever I want to do. So that is we will see in the coming sessions. So this way, like we can update the data, and we can insert the records in the table and you can check it out. In the next session we will see update command, which will help us to update the existing value, update existing data, or update the tables also. So that thing we will see in the next session. So thank you very much for today's session. Like hope you might have liked something from this session. If you have liked it, please don't forget to like and share this video with others so that they can also learn SQL programming. So we will see from the basic level. So even if you are not a technical person, you can learn SQL. So that's all from my side. See you in the next session.